10 years ago, Pastors Josh and Georgie landed in New York City to plant a church. And from the very first dinner party, people stepped out in faith to support the vision. Generous givers made a way for us to grow from neighborhood to neighborhood, from New York to Paris and Berlin. These are vision builders, faithful supporters who give above and beyond the tithe to support the missions, expansion, and outreach of C3 NYC. Through the years, we've partnered with missions near and far to be the hands and feet of God's love, meeting practical needs and sharing the good news around the world. Here are some updates from this year's Vision Builders initiatives in New York City: our youth ministry, urban garden, and juvenile justice ministry.
In today's society with social media and friend groups, these kids are being discipled by something.
We have the opportunity to show them the truth.
Storymakers brings a unique avenue of discipleship. I think when you look throughout the Bible, the Israelites are always writing things in remembrance of what God did. They're always setting things up to remember what God did. And Storymakers has things in it to where students can go in and it's like what I believe in, what I value, what I put my trust in. And students can go in and fill these areas in. And I think like a month from now, a week from now, whenever it is, they'll go back and be like, oh, this is what I used to believe in. This is what I used to trust in. And through this process of sanctification and discipleship, I now have my trust in God.
Be able to have that foundation to start that conversation off for the ones that feel like they haven't been heard, for the ones that just don't have a community to just lean onto, don't have a safe space to just really just be themselves, to be able to open up to people and having a community, a family, and it's just gonna bring so much hope back to this next generation.
Our vision for this is a place that students can come and find home, and forever their life will be changed.
I think we hear it all the time that the youth, the next generation, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, they're honestly our future. We have this opportunity to pour into that future.
If we want to continue to reach the next generation and reach the next generation and reach the next generation, we have to reach the next generation now.
They're going to be the ones that are going to be continuing this movement forward, the revival forward.
Hi, I've been serving at the Urban Garden for about 3 years now. I showed up with a willingness to learn and help out in any way I can. So pretty much, I took the garbage out most of the season. I was around the people there, and while I was helping out, they were showing me how to build a garden, plant seeds, and just show me all the ins and outs. More experience led to more tasks, and then I ended up help leading it. We have a partnership with a school down the street. We trust them during the weekday with the garden. During the summertime is when the garden really begins to work and grow. And we start to harvest all the vegetables, put them in the refrigerator. And during the weekday, our partnership with the school, the staff comes with the students and picks up the vegetables and they give them to the families there. I think the most difficult thing this season is that we tried building a new greenhouse, which is really exciting when it got built, but unfortunately it got knocked down by a storm. What we built took about 2 or 3 months, and to see it come down, it took about 15 minutes. But we're not done. Having a new greenhouse would open up the idea of having more plants and vegetables and a more of a year-round and then seasonal garden. Urban Garden is just a great way to serve the church, but outside, serving people outside of the church, shining our light on people that may not come to the service, but they may experience our giving and joy. I think one thing that's really interesting that people don't see is that the volunteers at the Urban Garden, they are just a bunch of joyful givers. I mean, they work hard all season long to give everything away, and they're happy to do it.
Living in darkness and in the shadow of death, to guide our feet
into the path of peace. I think for me, this verse really speaks to what this ministry is about, because we are going into a place that is physically dark, emotionally dark, spiritually dark, a place of strongholds, and we are praying and interceding, but at the same time we are physically walking into these places hoping to bring peace and love and guidance. It's difficult work that we're doing, but if you've been called, you will always be equipped. And this verse to me just sums that up. We're going into a place where there is not this lit path for us, but God is lighting the way, and we are bringing light in. We're going behind doors that are metal and shut, but we're bringing an openness and a peace through spirituality and through just an increase of faith. And that's what I really hope and pray for this ministry. Serving on our juvenile justice ministry team can mean anything from praying over the facilities or to the most in-depth version of serving on our team, which means sitting inside of 2 of the prisons here in New York City. We sometimes sit on the hall with the kids and enjoy a meal or a movie. We also have communion and Bible study. We've had everything from graduations to baptisms. It's incredible to watch success happen in an environment where success is not even really given as an option, but to see these kids really just take their challenges and make them work for them has been a really big blessing. We've also seen 8 baptisms inside of the facility. Allowing their walls to kind of break down and foster these intimate relationships is just a testament to God's plan and God's purpose for this team. This year, we've also had an incredible opportunity to partner with Youth for Christ and bring Entrepreneurship 101 to our group home facilities. Through this program, through the Summer Youth Employment Program, not only are the kids getting a paycheck to participate in this class, but we hope that we are empowering them with just a vessel for change and an increase in their confidence. My hope and prayer would be that we continue to have more access into the facilities. That's always our biggest obstacle. But once we are inside of the facilities, having more meals with the kids, having meals with their parents outside. A lot of times these families don't have transportation, and their kids are sent to do the remainder of their sentence in places upstate that are 2 to 3 hours away. What would it look like if we as a team could say, today we have a bus, we have a van, we're taking 5 families up to visit their kids? And just being part of that, what I've really learned through this ministry is that there's a lot of frontline work, but there's a lot of behind the scenes work. And I think being there behind the scenes and supporting is the most special part of it all.
We are one church, 3 cities. And as we've seen God's love move here in New York, our generosity is also making a way for revival in Paris and Berlin. In Paris, we've seen our largest Sunday service this summer, as well as our first baptism service with 8 people making a public declaration of faith through baptism. Over the last 3 months, we've seen 54 new decisions to follow Jesus. Through Vision Builders, we are now seeking outreach initiatives to serve the city of Paris so that we can begin to bless the city this fall. In Berlin, this past year we made the incredible investment in a permanent church home that isn't just available on Sundays, but also throughout the week. This allows for special summer hangs, prayer meetings, the Creative Leadership College, and, this year, the launch of the Bloom and Boom Kids Ministry. Our Sunday Kids Ministry allows our families to feel supported and connected at church, putting down roots that will impact generations. Our Creative Leadership College equips and empowers young leaders. Here's Lena, one of our college team, sharing her heart to see young leaders develop and grow.
Und mein Herz so für das College wirklich ist, so eine Art Wegbegleiter zu sein. Ein Wegbegleiter für junge Menschen in ihrem Weg mit Gott hin zu mehr Identität, Freiheit und zur Berufung. Und auch ich möchte einfach mitkreieren und wirklich so das perfekte Umfeld für junge Menschen kreieren, einfach wirklich in Gott zu wachsen, in der Beziehung mit Gott zu wachsen. Wie so eine Art Gewächshaus, wo Transformation einfach stattfinden kann. Und auch mir persönlich ist es so krass auf dem Herzen, einfach zu sehen, wie junge Menschen mehr in Gottes Wort reinsteppen, wirklich dadurch wirklich Gott kennenlernen, Gott erleben und einfach Transformation erleben. Ich freue mich unglaublich auf dieses neue College-Jahr. Ich bin gespannt, was Gott vorbereitet hat, was er in den Studenten bewirken wird und wie einfach Transformation sichtbar wird.
As we look to the future, we know that the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. It's harvest hands and provision for the vision that will allow us to continue to step out in faith and see the people of New York, Paris, Berlin, and beyond experience the love of God. As we partner and build together this fall, we can't wait to hear the stories and see God's wondrous works in the next 10 years. This is just the beginning.